أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله. Uh-oh, we got an echo. Uh-oh, we got an echo. I'll give some people an opportunity to tap in, inshallah. I wanted to cover a few things of utmost importance. Once again, in light of the current circumstances, uh, the political posturing, uh, Senate hearings, and things of that nature, things that we should be well aware of and that we should be insulating ourselves. I want to bring to the forefront a few key points tonight, inshallah. Uh, Basically, what I intended to do was revisit uh, a pivotal book uh, that was written. I don't even remember, man. It might be close to 15 years or so ago. Uh, and at the time of receiving the book, uh, I immediately delved in and took a lot of notes and have had discussions with individuals, uh, oftentimes making reference to the book because it just so happens that the book highlighted several things that uh, I was already aware of and several things that uh, I was striving to do. Me and small halakha of brothers. And so uh, it's imperative that the men come to the table. Uh, that's why it's called the Islamic Assembly. And we get these Muslim men to come to the table to deal with the various issues that we've been confronted with, whether it's, gang intervention or whether it's, you know, stunting by current admin. Uh, there are things that we should be um, seeking the best in one another to solve the issues that confront us. And thus far, most people are just content to hang out uh, in their mutual camps, so to speak. Uh, Not that there's anything wrong with that per se. However, if that precludes you from coming to the circle, then yes, that's something wrong with that. Uh, and so, it's just time that we break the barriers, whatever they are, how, however they're perceived. Um, Whoever has that issue, it's time that we step out of that uh that stagnant lane, inshallah. Once again, I'm really trying to wait for a couple of brothers to show up, inshallah. Um, Inshallah, some of the brothers from the Sankori school in particular, uh, as we've been engaged in dialogue over many years. Yeah. So yeah, this was not anything really scheduled, just seeing the need, and there was a request for a presentation. Uh at the current moment I'm not able to travel, and so I feel like there's no need of waiting on a presentation when we can take advantage of technology and come to uh, a meeting place. So anyway, again, uh, I got a video that it wasn't surprising, but it was a bit disturbing. It's disturbing because I can already see the playbook, that they're working out of, uh, pumping up the volume on Islamophobia, um, at a time when the American people have awakened to the real Trojan horse politically, which is the Zionists and their instrumentalities, uh, which is the real issue, within the American Republic, not Muslims wanting to govern themselves in communities where in which their neighbors are of like belief. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the Amish doing it. There's nothing wrong with the Jews doing it. So it can't be anything wrong with the Muslims do it. I mean, you got whole communities that was established along that paradigm. Cities, you know, Corpus Christi, you know, places like that, and they got the nerve to be whining about the Muslims wanting to have some semblance of a Dar Islam, and they, you know, waving the flag and blowing the trumpet. Oh, they want to bring the Sharia. We need to address that type of stuff right when it comes up, before the phobia can set in, because those things can be simply diminished or addressed, you know, with some intelligence and decorum, and set people at ease. I mean, the Sharia is already around you, you know, it's already been around you, and there's cases that and judges that have already ruled that there's nothing uh, inherently wrong or unconstitutional with Sharia. So yeah, I guess I'm not going to be able to cover these things tonight, because I'm not going to hold whoever the two people are that's watching. I'm not going to hold you all night, when these brothers aren't showing up. But once again, soon I will revisit it, and maybe even be prepared to go even more further in depth, because this was kind of prepared haphazardly, not even prepared, just kind of like spur of the moment. I need to address this, see if I can get these brothers in the room, instead of waiting until I can get back to California. So anyway, a few months back, year ago or so, we produced a video where in which we um, we laid out what we call a trajectory, um, of legal precedents for the Muslim uh, in America. It is our uh, opinion and stance that this historical precedent is one that's unprecedented. That that there's there's never been an equal to it, and that in actuality, it should be greatly supported. It seems like the believers would rally around something like this. However, that hasn't been the case. Uh, Not that it hasn't gained traction or people haven't embraced it, because absolutely, the movement's growing. But you would think that the Muslims would be excited to know that there's a paradigm specifically tailored for them, specifically historically documented for you to take advantage of. No need to reinvent the wheel. No need for the great sheikh to come down and bless us with the ilm. It's there. It's in the history. It's your actual Islamic heritage in this country. And unfortunately, it's going to be a time when, if we fail to take advantage of it, once it does get traction, you'll find yourself in the back again. And it's sad because it's exactly what we need. So, like, uh, give me one tick. I'm not moving. I'm not moving like I used to down the bed. But I wanted to, uh, I guess, go into a few of the things, and uh, let me start with the quote. Let me start with the quote. Um, for those who know. Okay. Uh, our dear beloved brother Sheikh uh, said in his introduction that uh, we needed to basically come up with a system, and we needed to demand, and this is the quote in the decisive solution, we need to demand that the African American national minorities must develop a decisive solution which is grounded in the sacred law of Islam, reflects the fundamental character and values which inform the United States Constitution, and finally, which is consistent with international law on the right to be accorded national minorities in nation states in order in order and in so wait a minute in order to resolve once and for all the problem of domestic colonization in the United States, and in doing so a president can be formed by which national minorities in other states can utilize. This is a quote from the Sheikh. Like I said, 15 years ago, whenever when I got the book, I told the brother Muhammad Toy I was going to do the knowledge and take my notes, and I did. And that just jumped off the page at me immediately in the introduction, because the Sundry Morris Islamic Assembly satisfies every one of those requisites. Every one of those requisites is satisfied what we've done here at the assembly. Uh, for example, as I said in the video, as I said earlier, the video that we made. year ago or so, began with the premise, and um, that premise is that Moorish nationality is the legal and logical alternative to the de facto misnomers, legal constructs, legal fictions, and so on and so forth that we operate under today. And it's not hard, it's not a stretch to see why, because as the Sheikh said, we need to satisfy those things. Well, we've we've said time and time again that, you know, 1787, 1786, uh, uh, you know, when the Moroccan Treaty was initiated and becoming ratified, 1786. This is before the Constitution's ink is even dry. That 1786 treaty would be enshrined in that Constitution. In fact, the clause from the 1774 Articles of Confederation is the support for the Article 6 uh, uh, of the current Constitution, where in which treaty law is the law of the land. Now, if you're looking for something more powerful than that, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You know, you say that also, he said many things in the book. It's kind of my lighting is very bad, and so I can't see very well, right? But uh he raised the need for a social contract, right? Well, that's what the treaty is, a social contract wherein which certain rights and provisions have been afforded and uh ratified, meaning an oath to undertake and support these things, right? But if you don't enact it, if you don't stand on it, if you don't call for it, then I mean it's just no document. It's no piece of parchment, you know. And when we talk about national identity, that's not something a single individual can carry. Um, you can claim it, but you're not the subject of international law as an individual. And so it seems like brothers would be excited to rally around that. But unfortunately, that hasn't been the case. Uh, it's easily uh, followed and proven that the treaty uh, was successful in and instrumental in African Muslims obtaining their freedom. Um, since we've been here 400 years, you know, uh, I don't know a lot of people who are immediately uh, ready to make hijrah. If they are, may Allah make it easy. Um, but for those who are remaining here, I would only beckon and call that we rally around this historic document uh, that is a blessed document uh, that's everything that you're looking for. It's the springboard for everything that you're looking for. Um, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. Like I said, uh, the brother Muhammad Sharif also says in the book The Decisive Solution that the US has failed regarding United Nations treaties, regarding people like us or regarding national minorities. Uh, and that's correct, right? But this ain't about what they failed to do. This is about what we failed to do. You know, brothers been knowing about the treaty for I've been saying it for 20 something years. You know what I'm saying? So it's more about what we're failing to do. And one thing that we don't fail to do is to point the finger and to diagnose, you know, all the things that's wrong, but when it comes to the prescription, and following that prescription, uh, we'll fail and we'll falter, and we'll just recede back into our neutral corners where we can further uh, reaffirm one another, uh, and that's sad, you know. But the brother also said, he said, no, I'm saying, by ignoring what's right before us, we're failing. Whatever entitlement to self determination you're seeking for, the treaty is the foundation. You know, and it's time that we embrace an Islamic heritage that's there. You know, that historical continuity, it satisfies that. You know that, and we as a people satisfy the requirements of a nation, not a country, but a nation. And a nation doesn't have to have geographical borders or land masses, right? Doesn't have to have standing armies or anything like that. We're just talking about our common shared identity, history, culture, and the things that make us whole as a people is sacred, and we have to make it so. Uh, if you don't, if you don't, if you don't uh, support that, that's your option, right? But for those who say they disagree, my challenge to you is don't just disagree. That's very intellectually immature. A logical point for point rebuttal to our video. Provide some evidence where in which something to the contrary has been said by the courts, right? Otherwise, it's just your feelings. And we can't be led by the feelings of a few, right? This is about us as a people and us embracing a national identity that we can all get behind that provides a broad enough basis where we can be all inclusive, right? You know, you know, everybody's not lamb tuna, everybody's not Bagawa, everybody's not Hausa, everybody's not Fulani, everybody's not Torag, you know what I'm saying? We need something that's all inclusive. And even if we embrace the term African, I don't see how you can embrace the term African and not embrace the term Moor. That's an oxymoron, when Africa is in the Moorish lands of the North. And when in reality, we all know the history. So anyway, I just think that the things that are dividing us are very flimsy, very weak, and they're things that we need to work around. Uh, Inshallah, we can schedule a more appropriate time to get into this because, like I said, this was just kind of spur of the moment, and I decided to just go and do it because the moment hit me, and I kind of move uh, when I'm inspired to do so. So, it's unfortunate that them brothers couldn't be here, but mashallah, you know, if Allah wills, we'll have time to revisit it again. But for now, I'm gonna just tune on out and say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. And inshallah, somebody can receive some benefit off the fact that the trajectory that we outlined is something that can be executed, it can be followed like a blueprint, and that we can all rally around and inshallah seek some type of remedy for the things that we all uh, suffer. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.